For my end of the year project, I have decided to make a video on how geometry is used in landscape art. Now, landscape art is the kind that is focused on what would be considered the background, except there is no person or animal front and center. They can still definitely be a part of the drawing, they're just smaller and not the focus. Anyway, when it comes to any drawing, there are many things that will need to happen. Now, I'm no good at landscape art, so I apologize for the quality in advance. But to begin, let's start with the plane. Now, the plane is a flat 2D shape that extends beyond what we can see. In art, the plane is where all of the actual landscaping will emerge from. And for me personally, I would always start with the basic shapes: triangles, circles, squares, and so on and so forth. For this example, I will make a very poorly drawn train circling a mountain with a city in the background. When making a piece such as this, there will typically be three areas called the foreground, midground, and background. People are most likely already aware of what the background is. It's the area farthest away in a piece of art, or the scenery behind the primary subject. The midground is the space between the background and the foreground. In dense scenery, this is where the subject is typically placed, but not always. Lastly, the foreground is the closest to where we are viewing things. As a quick example, if we look at a transition where the camera passes by a tree, like so, the tree is in the foreground. Now, there can be more sections, but in full honesty, I don't know the names of them or how to describe them. So for now, we're just gonna stick with the main three. With this piece of art, the front of the train would be in the foreground, the mountain it is circling along with the rest of it would be in the midground, and the city would be in the background. Now, the next thing is very important to keep in mind when creating art such as this: center of dilation, aka 1-point perspective, OP for short. OP is where you have a fixed point, and the closer you get, the smaller the object gets, which can help in making objects, or in this case our train and mountains, look 3D and have depth/perspective. There are two parts of dilation: reduction and enlargement. The closer you get to the point, the smaller the shape becomes, looking like it is reducing in size, beginning to seem far away. But the farther away it gets from the fixed point, the larger it becomes, seemingly closer. With all of this in mind, it's time to poorly draw this train. Now, I'm currently far too lazy to do the solid line art of this, so I'm just going to leave the sketch lines as is. The final thing in a piece such as this doesn't really focus on geometry. In fact, it's actually the colors, which affect the ambience, aka the mood. You see, colors affect the kind of mood and feeling you get from a piece of art. For this, I feel like going for a late evening feeling. For that, I would have to focus on soft, cool colors with darkness. So let's do that. And, despite my best efforts, I still struggle with coloring in my art. So like the rest, this probably won't look too good, but I guess as long as it gets the idea across, then it's fine. Well, that's all I have. I hope you found this useful in some way. Thank you for watching. For this example, I will make a very poorly drawn train circling a mountain with a city in the background. When making a piece such as this, there will typically be three areas called the foreground, midground, and background. People are most likely aware of what the background is. Okay, Daphne. It's the area farthest away in a... my God, the cat got me off track. Okay, bye.